Hello and welcome to Still Got Legs, the Doctor Who Rewatch podcast brought to you by Another Happy Studios. This week we're back fighting off the Cybermen in the multiverse of Doctor Who. Hello everyone, welcome to Still Got Legs, the only other podcast in the world. My name is Nathan and I'm joined by a very sick little boy.
Yes, yeah, I'm not great. I'm still up, I'm still all here upstairs, but I could do with a rest.
I don't know about that, considering what you just fucking said, but you just had a moment where your brain just completely did not work. But hey, there we go. What's going on? Lawrence, it's been a big week in the world of Doctor Who.
Has it? What, like recent news?
Well, at the time of recording, this past weekend was Eurovision.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yes, he was there. He was at a party. That's probably why he got sick. And I don't know if you saw, but before the festivities kicked off, the Eurovision finale, there was a little teaser, as it were, for the 60th anniversary special.
So I missed seeing it on the big screen.
Okay.
But what I did the customary British thing where you're excited for like a Super Bowl trailer or like something to come out on like a big event type thing.
Yes.
And I politely excused myself from the room, went to the toilet and pulled my phone out to watch what just aired on TV. The very same TV I was watching, to just go and watch it on a much smaller screen in the toilet on my phone.
When you was watching the teaser on your phone, Lawrence, was there anything that stood out to you?
Not anything that I can recall, but I feel like you're leading me down a path, so by all means, take my hand.
You see, because when I was watching the teaser, there was one moment, it was about halfway through, which just completely stole my attention, and then I was unable to think of anything else. Like, I did not take in the rest of the teaser at all, because this had just blew my mind so much that when I saw this on my TV, I was like, what the fuck? And it was a moment of genuine shock and confusion.
This is about as enthusiastic and dramatic as I've seen you lead any of these kind of news pieces.
Now, this is going to be hard to explain for the audience because it is visual. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tweet out a picture from Still Got Legs.
Yeah.
At Still Got Legs Pod on Twitter. So I would recommend everyone to go there because I'm going to post the screen cap from the teaser of what I'm talking about. Remind me to do this when the episode goes live.
Yeah.
But there's a moment in the trailer where the Doctor, played by David Tennant, who's the Doctor in this episode as well, he's
like this real long-serving Doctor, Nathan.
Yeah, Lawrence, it's a different Doctor.
Come on, I know.
Now. There's a moment where he seems to be working. It looks like a bit of a unit base or something like that, and he's working away. And then on the screens pops up some kind of face. The face of, I don't know, some kind of villain, some mysterious monster or something.
The face of Bo?
No, fuck off. And genuinely, just let me send you the image, and you tell me who you think that looks like. I'm texting it to you now, Lawrence.
Okay, I'm having a look. I hate that.
Do you see the resemblance? Lawrence, that is you. that is fucking you. That is your face in the fucking teaser for the 60th anniversary Doctor Who special.
For fuck's sake. I can see the likeness. I can see
It's
what you're
you.
like.
It's fully you. It's uncanny. It's fucking. It's not a likeness. It's your fucking face.
I mean, it's not my face. If it's my face, then I'm owed some money.
They stole your face somehow. I don't know what they did, but that's you.
Thanks.
Well,
Thanks for calling me a monster in Doctor Who.
You're welcome. You're gonna have to. You say I look like Lightning McQueen, so if anything,
you look like Lightning McQueen.
That's you. You look more like this cunt than I look like Lightning McQueen.
It's true.
What you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to take a picture of yourself making that face at some point, so we can put them up side by side on Twitter.
I'll try and I'll get like a black curtain. I'll put in the work to make it look similar.
But that is 100% you. So, everyone, fucking hell, still got legs is going places. Fucking one of the hosts has already got a starring role in the.
I was supposed to keep this quiet.
Anniversaries. He's broke his NDA.
How could you do this? You've really tripped me up. I thought just having that black curtain and the weird bob haircut would keep me under wraps, but apparently not.
I exposed him. Anyway, congratulations on your.
Thank you.
Starring role in Doctor Who. So that's a bit fun.
Do you know what I am?
What?
I'm just going to make up a terrible villain backstory and pretend I was really a part of it. But the first thing that came to my mind was the fiddler. Because he's got a creepy smile on. So I'm not going to go with this.
But then you just did.
Yeah, but I'm not going to elaborate on it.
But then you just did.
No.
So anyway, great. Thanks for not doing that.
I'm not in Doctor Who.
Thanks for not doing that, Lawrence. Anyway, great, good stuff. Anyway, what did we watch this week, Lawrence?
Thanks for that again. Brilliant. We watched the second parter last week. We saw the rise. What was it? Rise of the Cybermen. Rise of the Cybermen. Right, the Cybermen.
Cybermen.
Rise of the Cybermen. Today we're watching the second part of that, which is Age of Steel.
Well, we watched it, hopefully.
I watched it. Did you watch it?
Okay, yeah, I just watched it.
We can tick off one of the fundamental components of a rewatch podcast. Wait, did you rewatch it or did you just watch it?
Well, I've seen it before, if that's what you're implying.
That's good then. So we can say that we are a rewatch podcast.
Yeah, I've seen them all.
This would be
You cannot say the same for that, though, because... When we get a little later down the line, it's just going to be a watch podcast for you.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I'm going to be like, when was the first time you saw this? Yesterday.
Yeah.
No, it ended on a cliffhanger last week. All of the party guests, the John Lumick Cybermen have invaded the party. They've killed the president, and they are... Sorry?
It was mean. No, go on.
What did you say?
I said good riddance.
Oh, come on, he was all right.
But you know me, I'm anti-establishment, aren't I?
That's true, yeah. But this is a parallel world, so is it the same establishment? Maybe that's a good establishment.
It's all the establishment. You get rid of the monarchy and it's a president who's taking its place, but is that any better? The people should be in charge, though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, true.
Power to the people.
I mean, it's a democracy, I suppose. That's at least better than just having an old bastard sit on a chair.
Or is it the illusion of a democracy?
Oh, he's getting bloody political, boys. Fucking, he's like a regular Russell himself today.
I'll say anything, man.
He can't be stopped.
I cannot be stopped.
So yeah, they're in the parallel worlds. The president's dead, and the Cybermen are gonna just delete these guys. They're bad stock, according to them. There's no chance of being taken anywhere. The Doctor's pleas are falling on deaf ears. They say the classic delete, delete, delete. And what happens?
Before that, just a quick...
such a segue. Like, I couldn't have been asking anything else to be said next.
But just a quick little thing that I really enjoy, and this is on last week's episode, technically, but it showed up in the recap, so I can talk about it. But there's the moment where, like, the Doctor is saying, like, but we surrender! But this is a surrender, we surrender! And there's just like, during one of those moments, there's a shot of him where the cameraman is just apparently laying on the ground, just pointing the camera up, and you just see David Tennant stood like that, just shouting, we surrender! And it's just very funny. It's just very funny. I enjoy it
Russell's
very
the
much.
king of, like, random cuts. He loved a bit of that, didn't he?
He does love a random cut. This is not written or directed by Russell, though. So
no, but he's overseeing it. He's telling them, I want a few random cuts in there.
I don't know if he is. This is the work of one Graham Harper in the director's chair.
Yeah, but he's, showrunners get some sway.
I don't think he's on set.
Do you not?
No, not for every episode.
No, but this is big. What else was he up to in like 2006? Not much.
I don't know.
This was his like big gig. I'd be fucking there every day.
This is also a night shoot as well. Like it's probably like 3 a.m.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't be on set.
True. I wouldn't be in Wales.
Lawrence, we're not getting into your hatred of Wales. Oh, actually, that does remind me, though. I do have an apology to make to you, Lawrence.
Oh, ho, ho.
From last week's episode. Okay.
Oh, a humbling moment, a rare one from you.
Yeah, don't get too excited. You were still wrong, too. But,
Okay.
But I do have a bit of an apology. Last week, you made the claim that both Jake and Mrs. Moore were Welsh.
Yes.
And I humbled you and laughed at you and ridiculed you, as I often do, and said they were both very Geordie. Mm-hmm. I was wrong. I was half wrong. Jake is very much a Geordie bloke. He's very much from Newcastle. That cannot be disputed.
Yeah.
But when I was watching this episode this week and the Doctor and Mrs. Moore were out and about, I was like, oh, fuck, she's Welsh. She's fucking Welsh.
I didn't pick up on it. I think maybe I just tuned my ear out of accents out of fear of embarrassing myself again.
You don't have an ear for accents, so it's not one of your skills.
No, that's true.
You did happen, but even a broken clock is right twice a day, and you did happen to be half right in this instance.
I will accept half right, and thank you for humbling yourself as well.
It was only half an apology though, because you were still wrong about Jake. So.
That's fair. I'll take it. Nathan, they say delete, but what does the Doctor do?
He pulls out a crystal or whatever and he shoots him.
Fucking. I'll tell you this. At least it wasn't the Sonic.
We'll talk about the Sonic later, though. I'm fine with it. It's fine. It's a weird crystal from the TARDIS. It's storing energy. Sure, why not? It can do that.
He says it will power up again in 4 minutes, and I think 4 minutes.
4 hours, he said.
Does he say 4 hours?
He did say we can go to the tape. Or no.
I'll just believe you. The tape takes so long. I'll just believe you.
It's 4 hours.
I wouldn't be risking it. I'd wait in the van for 4 hours, and then I'd be like, right, now I've got a gun again. I can go out. It does a lot of them, though. Because I would just go into the middle of the factory, and I'd be like, look, they're all probably within a couple of meters of each other, because there's so many of them. Just give them all a zap.
I don't know if it would do that many.
Do you reckon it could go for like mirrors, if they set up a right amount of mirrors?
No, because there was like a group of Cybermen behind them, and they didn't seem to get hit with it. So
true. Maybe it's like where their chest is facing or something.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe just like 5 or 6.
Yeah. We'll never know, to be honest. What we know is it got them out of the cliffhanger.
No, yeah. Well, and that was its job. That was its main function. So,
yeah, very much so.
Good on you, little Crystal. You did it.
I wonder if there's other parts of the TARDIS you can take off that just become a ray gun. Like if you need them to.
Yeah, probably. There's probably a ray gun on the TARDIS, to be honest.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff hoarded about.
Yeah. Who's that guy? It's Ray Gunn. Anyway.
That was fucking... No. If I said that, there'd be hell on. I'm not skipping over that. That was terrible.
It was great. Lawrence, I'm sure we will talk at length about Mickey and Rose's relationship. But just a little taste of that. They do share a kiss quite early on in this episode.
They do. Stakes are high. I'll accept it. Stakes are high.
Yes.
It's, could be both of them could be running off to their death.
Exactly. Yeah.
So obviously we know that they're not going to die because it's Doctor Who.
Yes. But they don't know that. They don't know they're in Doctor Who.
Yeah, they've been watching the show.
Yeah.
Mickey's like, hang on, you love this Doctor. You've been doing all sorts of him over the place.
Lawrence,
Cassandra said you've been looking.
What is this? What are you doing?
I'm gearing up. I got words on Mickey later. Good words on Mickey. Not good words on Noel Clarke, but good words on Mickey.
All right, well, that's the balance we like.
It is. It's the way to go. Pete is a sneaky boy.
What do you mean by that?
He's been feeding information, so I have to eat a bit of humble pie.
You do, yeah. I was thinking of you during this scene.
Mm.
You big fucking Billy Bollocks over here, like, what's Pete doing in this company? He shouldn't be there. It's almost like he's a spy.
I never said that. I didn't go that too far in.
I know.
I do respect that he was there feeding information. I like the fact that he didn't realise like what a professional outfit he was feeding it off to as well.
Yeah,
like
he was
he's just broadcasting in the wind.
Yeah, he thought he was like going to MI5 or some shit, and it's actually just fucking London's most wanted illegal parker, apparently.
Yeah, it's just going off to the nearest van.
He's just always pulling up to the fucking nearest double yellow and just be like, fucking have this.
That's like you and your anti-establishment ways.
It is. He even says it. He says something like that, doesn't he? He says
it's park where I want or something, yeah. Park where I want, that's me.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I didn't notice this last week, but Mickey and Ricky get paired together in a little moment during this episode. I noticed that they purposefully stripped Mickey down in the last episode so they could put him in not just a similar, but the exact fucking same outfit as Ricky, purely so Noel Clark didn't have to change costume like between shots. They probably had him in a different costume and first went, nah, this is long. Just fucking put them in the same outfit. Like, that's good enough, all right?
I will forgive it because I do respect a show in 2006 of this budget going, we're going to pair the two people together. Like, it would have been so easy to split Ricky and Mickey up.
It's true, it would have. And I tell you, it doesn't look terrible.
Like, I think it looks all right.
It look for what it is, it's fine. Sure, the eyeline's not quite right at times, and there's some wonky composition in here and there, but hey, I can forgive that. It looks a damn lot better than the fucking Cyberman surgery thing, but like we can talk about that. But like, this looks fine.
You know when you've got like photo booth on your Mac?
Yes.
And you have like the mirror effect.
Yes.
Have you ever like done that and then like seen that there's like two of you?
Yeah, and you just give yourself a little kiss.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Or you try and make your face whole from two halves.
Yeah.
Yeah. that was the year of a man that just wanted to move on and did not do that.
No, I did. I know what you mean.
You didn't do it though, did you?
No, I did. I've done it. Yeah, everyone's done it.
It's true. Yeah. It gave off that a few times. But all in all, it looked fine for me. It looked serviceable enough.
Yeah, a bit of fun.
And they off him fairly soon anyway. They realise this is a bit long actually. Oh, again, we deal with spoilers. It's a rewatch show. We're here to talk about the whole fucking thing.
I know, but we're not there yet.
It's not spoilers though. It's just a little call ahead to something.
Spoilers.
For fuck's sake. Really quick, before we get into like the meat of it, because this is kind of just one big long, like break-in action episode. Really, there's not many other moving parts to it.
What did you think of it as a whole?
I like it. I really like this episode.
I do too. I liked it a lot more than I liked last week's episode. I think it's a much better episode and a much better story overall. Yeah. And I think it also builds on what came before quite well as well.
Don't get me wrong, you have to have last week because
yes, you do. Yeah.
You need to set up Pete's ear, Jackie's ear, all of that.
Last week is mostly setup work really, and this is like all the payoff for it.
I think this episode they like realized the themes better. Like they got to use the concepts better. Like the Cybermen you get to see inside their factory. It's not just like putting homeless people in a bin or something and then putting them into a suit.
I do want to talk a little bit later about. I know last week we had the discussion about like Rose and if she's right or not to talk to her mum and all that sort of stuff. I do want to touch up on that, follow up on it basically because I got some stuff to say.
From this episode or like revisiting?
But a little bit of both because number one, I don't think I articulated myself well enough last week, so I just want to. Touch base a little bit.
Do you want to do that now? We're talking about the concept.
No, I don't want to do that now. That's more towards the end, but all right. We can.
What I will say is I really enjoy the concept of like how the show uses this two-parter as a whole, but mainly this one because this is where they're the threatening presence. Because it's basically an all-out war. Yeah. Like at this point. Because they've got most of London on their way in for a little touch-up.
Well, Cardiff, but yeah.
Yeah, London Cardiff, the fictional London Cardiff that we know.
There's some great moments, like they're a Battersea power station. Like, no, they're not. That's just like a little coal mine. There's a little fucking coal mine, mate. I've been to Battersea power station. It looks nothing like it.
Yeah, it's in the dark, so they're like, it's Battersea power station, 100%. Yeah, can't you tell?
Look at this big chimney. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think it loses a bit of the sheen when some of the viewers have been to Battersea Power Station.
Yeah.
What I was saying though is I really, really like how, because this is the first Cyberman appearance, technically, the first one where they're a villain rather than just a head in a museum.
Yeah, which is mentioned.
Yeah.
Rose brings it up. She's
She
like, I
does.
saw that head.
I fucking well remembered. I forgot it, and I watched the show.
Oh mate, I have a photographic memory when it comes to Doctor Who.
Oh yeah. Where's this photo from?
Lawrence, you know for a fact this is true. Don't make me expose you.
That's true, yeah.
I'm
not even holding up a photo.
With a little request you sent me last week.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Yeah. You're my go-to guy when I need a Doctor Who reference quickly.
Lawrence needed a reference for Caravan of Garbage, so text me, when does David Tennant Sonic some cash out of a cash machine or whatever? And I replied within seconds, it's at this episode, this time code, here's a link. There you go.
It made it in, did you see?
I did see, yeah.
Hard to get a HD clip of that random moment, you know.
I was going to say, it did look shit. Like,
Yeah.
what, it was in like 4:3 somehow.
Yeah, it's not great. YouTube compression did a number on it, and it was already uploaded by a fucking potato. But anyway, I like how this, because it's the first appearance of the Cybermen as like a mainstay villain in the revival series. I like how they go to a parallel Earth, and then they go, the Cybermen were just made by a billionaire here in this parallel Earth, so they can keep the established canon of what the Cybermen are in our reality, in our world. Yeah. But also introduce them to a whole new audience, because this was obviously my first time seeing what a Cyberman was.
Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, I quite like that, and I like that they, over the series, they kind of bleed over into the real world, and then eventually they get rid of like the Lumic design with the big C in the middle of their chest, and then it's just like they're Cybermen.
The C goes like quite early, actually.
I don't think it appears after season 2, does it?
No, I don't think so. No, like next time the Cybermen appear, they're just from regular Earth. Like it's the same design, they just don't have the C on their chest.
They were on hiatus for quite some time, weren't they? They like after season 2, they fucked off for a bit.
I know they're in that Christmas special with David Morrissey, which
oh yes, that's right.
I'm trying to think. I'm sure they would appear before that. David Tennant surely did not only have 2 stories with the Cybermen, or 3 if you count the finale, I guess, for series 2.
My first guess was going to be when they show up in the Pandorica Opens, so you're already way ahead of me.
But yeah, that's way later.
Yeah.
They are in a deleted scene from Journey's End. But yeah.
What were they doing in Journey's End? That would have been so random.
So you know how like the end of every finale, there's like a little thing that led into the Christmas special, like the little cliffhanger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Journey's End doesn't have one. It's just the Doctor's like, oh, I'm sad or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a good reason it doesn't have one, because the deleted scene was basically that. It was the Doctor in the TARDIS, oh, I'm sad or whatever. And then for some bizarre fucking reason, 2 Cybermen just appear out from, but you know, like that little couch behind in the TARDIS, they just appear like behind it and grab him. And then that was it. And they were like, yeah, this makes no sense, and it just ruins the emotional ending of the episode. Let's delete this. I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. That's for the best.
That's fucking terrible.
Yeah, it makes no sense whatsoever.
I like that the emotionless killing machines, the metal men themselves, where they're like, let's hide behind the sofa. Let's hide behind the sofa that is like 30 centimeters big.
But then even in the fucking, like, that next episode, he's not with the Cyber. He's not captured by the Cybermen at the beginning. He just lands in like fucking 8 Victorian fucking Christmas Day or whatever, and he's like, this is fun.
Oh, man.
Like, makes no sense.
Weird that those Cybermen broke in. Anyway, I kung fu kicked them off screen, and now they're just dead on the floor of the TARDIS.
Exactly.
Right, where do we want to go with this?
I think Ricky and Jake are boyfriends.
Ricky and Jacob. Jake is quite cut up.
He is. He's very, very cut up about the death of one Ricky. And they were very close. So I think they're having kisses and they're boyfriends.
Maybe. And it kind of speaks to
And
Mickey's...
if you disagree, you're homophobic.
Well, in that case, I think you're right.
Well then.
And I think there's enough evidence that there's no debate.
Yep, there we go. There it is. It is canon. They're kissing.
I see what you mean though, because like Jake is proper cut up about it, and also
He's heartbroken, man.
yeah. And at the end, Mickey's like, "Oh, I'm not replacing him. I'm a different man."
Yeah, and he's like, I know it must be weird, me having his face and everything, but
Yeah,
I'll honour him. Or whatever.
yeah,
So there we go.
yeah. There's something there.
Spoiler alert. Mickey's not there. Spoiler alert. Shut up. Yeah, so fun little thing.
We've got the so they team. What should we call them? What should we call the team?
What team?
Oh,
This
the
team?
preachers.
Oh yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
what team?
Well, like the preachers plus Pete and the Doctor and Rose and Mickey.
All right.
They're all the preachers for
Team
ease of
TARDIS.
referencing.
They're Team TARDIS for this episode.
Team TARDIS and the preachers collab.
Just Team TARDIS. Just call them Team TARDIS.
So
All
the
right, Team
preachers-
TARDIS, FT, Preachers, FT, Pete.
Yeah, right. Yeah, FTP. Yeah. Now Pete's a part of it. Pete's a little informant.
No, he's not. I got words on Pete, man. No, he's not.
Yeah, to be fair, I got some words on Pete. Like, Pete. All right, fine. Team TARDIS, FT, the preachers, FT. You can trust me on this cola, man, Pete. Cherry cola, man, Pete.
Sure, whatever.
All right. So all of them are on their conveniently placed bench, looking over, doing some tactical recon. How can we get in? And they decide that they're going to split up into some teams. So
Yes.
you've got
Mickey and Ricky. No, wait, Ricky's dead. You got the Doc and Mrs. Moore.
Yes.
You got Rose and her
Or
dad,
as Jake would call her, Mrs. Moore.
Mrs. Moore. Better groove. You got Rose and her dad,
Yep.
and you got Jake and not his boyfriend.
Jake and not his boyfriend. Yeah. Cool pairings. I like that they all get split up a bit.
Teams. Yeah, good little teams.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I think by far the most captivating is the Doctor and Mrs. Moore.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. I think there's some good moments between the two of them. I like the first of all just a good little moment of horror. It's a little bit cheesy, but just the little moment of horror of the corridor of the Cybermen, and then them slowly just waking up as they make their way down it. It's a little cheesy, but I think it's a good little spooky thing.
It's good and it's funny because in this episode there's about 4 different occasions where they're like, this Cyberman is asleep, and the Cyberman's like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, it's dead. Don't worry.
Yeah. No. Also, how can you tell? Mickey's like, this one hasn't got a brain. I'm like, how do you know? You can't fucking see. It's silver.
Mickey, you don't have a brain. Shut up.
He just gets slapped in the face by the Doctor at one point later as well. I'm like, oh, steady on, man. Come on. Let's not ignore the elephant in the room that you've completely cucked my relationship. That's
Come
fine.
on now. No spoilers. I'm sorry, please.
I think they're the most interesting pair, but not just because it'd be easy to say, oh, because that's the one where the Doctor is. But Mrs. Moore really becomes a cool character in this, and it kind of all happens in that one little cheesy corridor.
Yeah.
I just like the fact that it reminded me of the Torchwood episode Fragments, where they all get to do their sad backstories.
I was reminded of a different Torchwood episode, one which I would rather not speak of.
I was Yanto and his sexy cyber girlfriend.
The sexy cyber lady. Get a look at this one, boys. You like Doctor Who? You like Doctor Who, boys? Well, you gotta fucking love this one, boy.
This ain't your grandpappy's Doctor Who. Look at these.
We got cyber titties, boy.
Yanto
Awful. If you haven't seen it, just look up Torchwood Cyber Woman, and that costume is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
It is an affront to the universe. Like I think it would be objectively the worst designed thing in the all anything Doctor Who.
Feminism took a massive fucking blow that day. Probably set it back like a good few years.
Yeah, just to be honest, yeah, it's probably why the community is filled with incels now.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, if it's not the reason, it definitely didn't help.
Definitely, yeah.
There's little guys at school like, why can't you have cyber boobs? Oh god. But yeah, no, Mrs. Moore gets her Torchwood backstory. Like it is a very Torchwood-esque backstory. She has a husband out there who thinks she's dead, which is just very sad. Kids that think she's dead as well. And she, all because as you know, so often in like pop culture, it happens where some person working at a place just stumbles across a file they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, people are showing up at her place with guns.
Yeah.
But yeah. Fucking hell.
And then building on that, like they make their way through the spooky corridor, they escape, and then there's just the fucking heartbreaking scene of, you know, there's that one Cyberman which they managed to incapacitate with a little EMP bomb or whatever, and then they like disable the emotional inhibitor chip. And then you find out it's just a woman who was due to get married tomorrow. And it's just like, my husband can't see me. It's bad luck. And it's like, fucking hell, man. This is...
Yeah, it's fucked. Like, I've got a note that just reads, Sally the Cyberman and her soon-to-be husband Gareth broke my heart.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's the way it's like, where's Gareth? And I'm like, oh, man, she wants to know where Gareth is. And then it's like, it's bad luck to see me the night before. And I was like, no, God, no.
As a man who recently got married, that must have
it would put a massive dampener on the wedding if this happened to me the night before, I'll be honest.
It wouldn't have been half as fun if this had happened.
She's walking down the aisle and you just hear Speaking of, the Cyberman that sneaks up on Mrs. Moore had his boots on silent.
Yeah, he was on silent mode.
I feel like that would be more beneficial for most of them. For that to be the default setting would be easier.
You just gotta ignore shit like that. It happens a lot, okay? Like, you just gotta ignore it. Don't worry about it.
Moving off this, just to touch in on Lumic, and then we can touch in on the rest of TARDIS team featuring the Preachers, featuring Cherry Cola Pete. Yeah. I like that. So I can't remember his name. I think it's Mr. Crane, Lumic's weird butler, Michael Caine stand.
Pennyworth.
Yeah,
Batman's butler.
Yeah. I've got the units ready, Master Wayne. But he has possibly the fucking stupidest scene in this whole fucking thing.
It's so stupid, man. I love it so much. What I love about that scene, it's nothing to do, well, it's kind of to do with him, but it's not anything from him. It's just Lumic just going, no, stop, don't. Just the panic on him as he just helplessly flails about while he just unplugs his random assortment of IV bags and tubes and whatever the fuck is going on back there.
It reminded me, remember last week when he was like, I'm the picture of perfect health, and he's like so obviously on a fucking ventilator or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love the hypocrisy of the, like, it's the slow burn. He's like, I'm going to request myself an upgrade, because he's like inching closer to him. Yeah. But he knows he can't just make an all-out sprint, but then he does anyway. He's like, I know you. I've known you all these years, and I know what to do. And then he just scramble fucks up his chair. I'm like, I would have done that.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't need to know him for 20 years to figure that one out.
Like anyone would have just gone, oh, this thing that's detrimental to his health? Yeah, I'll probably fuck with it.
I'd just fucking break it. I'd have pushed him over, or I'd have fucking... Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like one strong gust of wind and Lumic's dead anyway. Like, it wouldn't take a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like, just jumping off of that as well, I do like that the Cybermen like see him in pain.
Yeah.
And they're like, you need the ultimate upgrade, and he's like, no, go away. I'm like, firstly, wasn't that your entire point?
Yeah.
And secondly, I fucking love that his ultimate superior upgrade is just him in another wheelchair. with the same tubes.
The same tubes, but now they're painted silver.
Yeah, they're just, it's all it is. They've upgraded his chair.
That cyber leader design, it's awful. It's so bad. It's just like they've took the Cyberman design and just like made it like 0.5% bigger. And then they've just, for some reason, put little LED lights in the eyes and made one of them brighter than the other. And it just looks bad.
I do like the exposed brain. I like that.
Yeah, it's fine, I guess. But
I like the idea that Lumic designing it would be like, everyone needs to see my big brain.
If anything, it's worse. Why is he wired into the chair?
Yeah, it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's objectively worse.
If it's the upgrade, then what? He's still just fucking chair-bound, apparently. Like, he still needs that to live for some reason. Like, what the fuck's going on?
He should be able to walk up walls and run.
Yeah.
Like, because the rest of them can't run, I'd imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
Or at least we never see him have mobility enough to run. What's everyone else off doing? What are Rose and Pete up to?
They're off to save Jackie.
Yes. Plan so fundamentally flawed on every conceivable level.
All right, tell me why.
They are marching in a line where if they break ranks, they die, and if they don't break ranks, they'll still die.
Yeah.
I would have thought about it a bit more. That's what I'm saying. I get why they're going in, but it is pure potluck that the Cybermen are like, this is Cherry Cola Pete. He's one of the lads. We'll take him in. I like that.
I don't think they're necessarily thinking about that, though.
No, it is a bit of blind faith. Let's go get Jackie.
Yeah.
Which I do appreciate. And when Jackie shows up, my God, that was very sad. It's
just a bit brutal because there's no, we don't see Jackie get dragged off into the machine or whatever. We assume she just walks in there because she's already had her mind fucking taken over or whatever. There's no big moment, no big goodbye Jackie moment. It's just a rip off the Band-Aid cyber Jackie.
Yeah, and she's
Pete
like,
Tyler.
I was Jacqueline Tyler. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I think the moment, it wasn't necessarily even played up as like a beat. I can't tell what like the intention was, but it's such a casual moment that got me right in the gut when Pete and Rose are being walked away and Cyber Jackie just disappears into the sea of other Cybermen and Pete goes, which one was she? Like, what? And too late, man. She's gone. You'll probably never see her again.
Because they're talking about maybe there's some way we can get her back. Maybe we can reset or something. But, to do that, you need the fucking cyber body. And fuck knows now. She's disappeared.
She's just gone. And it's, it's fucked. It was very, very sad. But, that's kind of the way it goes. And I like that Pete kind of, that sticks with him as well. Like, throughout the episode. I have some questionable thoughts on where Pete ends up. But
As do I.
But I do like the fact that he was never just like, oh well, all's well now, I suppose. Like, fucking sad 24 hours for Pete.
So maybe this is the best time to like bring up the stuff with Rose and everything. So like, following on from last, again, I just don't think I articulated myself well in this, and it fits in with this. Like when you say like it's not a well thought out plan, I feel like that's kind of the point. And I feel like that's
them going into the factory.
Yeah. And I feel like that's the point of a lot of this stuff, especially with Rose. So last week, Rose is immediately caught off guard. They land in a parallel Earth, and one of the first things she sees is a poster of her dad. He's still alive in this world. He's famous, he's successful. And, we know how much Pete means to her. It's her dad, for fuck's sake. Like, we've seen the whole episode and what she did to save him and that sort of stuff. Oh, yeah. She essentially broke time to do that. And she was doing something wrong, and the doctor told her that was something that she shouldn't have done. But I just think that... And again, this is kind of what I was trying to say last week. When all rational thinking, it sort of goes out the window. And it's kind of like, if I can relate this to something close to my heart, The Last of Us Part 2. Okay. Yeah. Spoilers for The Last of Us Part 2 and the TV show and the game, the first game, I guess.
I've never played either of them.
Good. Nothing major. It's very, very minor spoilers. Nothing major. And if you've like seen the TV show or whatever, it's kind of hinted at towards the end of that anyway.
Yeah.
So nothing too major. Joel and Ellie's relationship in that game, it's fractured because of the decision he made at the end of the first one. Like, he killed the Fireflies. He chose to save Ellie instead of letting them make a vaccine. Because of that, countless more people died, etc., etc. Ellie finds out about that and she is just fucking distraught. Like, that has turned her entire... She suspected it, but, like, she really is fucking distraught having that confirmed to her. And then at that point, she's just like, basically, we're fucking done, all right? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Over. We have no relationship from this point onwards. And it's a good couple of years of that, of them basically having no relationship. And Joel is obviously very fucking distraught and heartbroken about that. And of course he wants to have that relationship with her again. He loves her. She's been a big part of his life. And then a little later on in the game, there's a moment that we see between them a couple of years later where they're talking about what happened. You know, Ellie tells him she should have died in the hospital that night. Her life was supposed to mean something. She should have fucking died. And then Joel basically says something to the effect of like, even with knowing everything he does now, knowing the pain and the misery that decision caused him, knowing how many deaths are on his hand, if he had the choice, he would do it all over again. And he wouldn't hesitate. And I feel like this is kind of what the same thing that's happening, because it's not rational to make that decision. It's not rational to walk into a factory full of fucking mindless cyber monsters with no real plan of what you're going to do, no real plan of escape or anything like that. But it's all for love, and love isn't rational.
Yeah.
It makes you do stupid and selfish and fucked up things. And this is what I was trying to say last week. Like, Rose seeing her mum again, it's all feeding back into this kind of like childhood dream that she's had of wanting this happy family unit. You know, her mum, her dad together being happy. So her talking to Jackie, sure, the doctor will say, it's not your mother, don't be stupid. But she's not thinking like that. She's not thinking logically about it. She is trying to get that dream of what she wanted, basically. Yeah. So, you know, she'll seek out her dad. She'll follow him into the cyber factory because, you know, if there's a sliver of a chance of getting that dream, then she'll fucking do it. And that's why I really like this episode, because basically what happens at the end of this episode, it's like that dream of hers of having this happy childhood family of both your parents being together and doting you with love and all that sort of stuff, piece by piece, it's just ripped away from her completely. They go to the cyber factory. Jackie's been converted. She's killed. She's dead. Gone. All right. Towards the end of the episode, she lays it basically all out on the table for Pete. He fucks off. He can't handle it. He rejects her. Even then, pouring fucking salt into the wound, Mickey ends the relationship, leaves her. And then after that, after all that fucking... And look, did Mickey make the right choice? For him, yeah, absolutely. And I'm fucking proud of him for making that choice. But for Rose, that's still got a sting after everything.
No, I think, to be fair, the thing I never considered last week especially was, it's interesting you talk about the, like, when you put it into perspective of Rose never did have that family. Like, because obviously her Pete is dead. And we know that, and she knows that because she even witnessed it firsthand at this point now. Yeah, I think it definitely comes across as more, like you say, not rational but understandable.
And after all that, after having that dream ripped away from her piece by piece by piece, what does she do after that? What would any of us do after that? She goes home and she hugs her mum.
Yeah, and in
just a fucking beautiful, real moment. And this is actually, I think this episode, like, it really made me love Rose as a character more than I have ever before, because, like, it wasn't any, like, big empowering moment for her or anything like that. It was just something that was so beautifully human and relatable.
Yeah, I think naturally as humans we're at least decent ones. I think we're programmed to have empathy after we watch something get just kicked repeatedly. And whilst I think I've not always been on the same kind of page as Rose, because in other episodes there's some debatable stuff, and like we were saying, everyone has their own experience of, like, well, I say everyone, I mean Mickey. He has his own experience of what Rose has done to him and the position that Mickey's been put in due to Rose and everything. But at the end of the day, there's still, we'll never be in the position of like having to choose between a normal life and your partner versus all of time and space. So like, I can see that, and I think the fucking I've even got a note on the inclusion of like the Jackie visit at the end is part of the charm of why I love kind of this era of Doctor Who. I know it is still apparent later on, but I've seen all of seasons 11 and 12 and Flux and stuff, and I do think there's an element where this is missing, like these simple human moments that, like, it would be so easy to look at a production sheet for the episode and go, we're running a bit behind, we haven't really got the time to put the TARDIS in the flat and have Rose give her mum a hug. It's not plot crucial, we don't need it. But you miss something from it.
That would be such a shame if that scene gets cut, because to me that scene is so crucial.
It makes us give a shit about these people.
It's nothing. It's 20 seconds, if that. It's a little button at the end of the episode. In the grand scheme of things, really not important, but it's so important to the fucking emotional core of this story particularly, and so important to Rose as a character. It would be a real shame if that were to get cut. And I'm glad it didn't.
I agree. I just think it would be like a studio's first scene that wouldn't get filmed if they were tight on time. But you need moments like that to really kind of zero in on why we should give a shit about these people. And we've always said, like, as far as TARDIS teams go, it doesn't. I mean, like, yeah, there's great ones, and there's like ones that definitely hold a candle to this, but in terms of like human emotion, connection, and like interpersonal dynamics and conflicts, like season 1 and 2 is so good with that. Like it's so good. But yeah, we speak a bit about Mickey and why he does what he does.
Yeah. So he, at the end of the episode, although before that, there's a good little moment earlier on where they are going off in their little separate teams, and then like the Doctor and Mickey, they kind of have a little moment, and I feel like there's a moment where the Doctor kind of sees what's coming. I think he kind of knows, because he's like, "I'll see you back at the TARDIS, Mickey," and there's just like a look or something. It's like the Doctor's almost like, "Hey, good for you." He's like coming into his own kind of thing. He like knows what's coming.
When you, I fucking love that look, because Mickey and Rose, they share their quick kiss, because who knows what could happen, and then Mickey turns. Doctor says, "Well, I'll see you back on the TARDIS," and he was like, "Yeah, like count on it," or something like that, whatever he says, and then he turns back, and for better or for worse or whatever, Rose and the Doctor are embracing, and she's beaming, like even in this face of fucking incomprehensible danger, she's beaming. And Mickey, he like, at first I think he comes across as a bit sour, but you very quickly kind of see it turn into just like, fine, I've accepted it, like it's what it is. And as the episode goes on, like I think it would be easy to look over everything, like Pete uses the Sonic and kills the Cyber Leader, and Jake crashes the blimp and stuff, but like the reason they're able to do all of that is because the Doctor, Rose, and Pete all didn't succeed with what they needed to do, and then just Hail Married it to Mickey, who was just ready to help them, as he always is. And he brought back the whole, like, I don't want to be the tin dog. And like, without this, they're all dead. Like, without Mickey in this episode, they're all dead. I know the Doctor points him in the right direction, but that speaks to what you said of, like, the Doctor is like, you can fucking handle this. Just handle it. And he does, which I really liked.
Yeah, he does. He saves the day, really.
With some incredible hacking the episode and typing.
some great hackers, some of the best typing if I've ever seen it. But towards the end of the episode, he makes the decision that he's going to stay on this earth, and seems, for the moment anyway, he kind of definitively ends the relationship with him and Rose. He tells her, like, this isn't, it's like, they don't belong together, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
he says something to the effect of, like, we had something with each other a long time ago, but that's gone.
But it's gone. Yeah, it's time to just basically accept it. They've both kind of been in this space of denial, basically. Like, yes, they are still technically in a relationship, just because neither of them have actually had the conversation of saying this isn't anything, is it, anymore? Like, it's they've kind of, I don't know if they've both fallen out of love, but it's very clear that Rose has moved on, really, and now this is Mickey also taking that step and moving on for himself. And yeah, she's upset and she doesn't want him to, because this has been a very fucking heartbreaking episode for her. She's been through a lot of shit. Of course, she still wants to cling on to the fucking one thing she has. Yeah. Of course she does.
Mickey's consistent, 100%.
Yeah. But it's the right decision for them both.
Yeah, I love the, like, when you look at the pilot episode of The Revival, when Mickey is, like, quivering on the floor, terrified to even look at the TARDIS, compared to, like, where he ends, like, in a parallel world, like, let's go stop some metal men in Paris with this stranger I don't know in a van. Like, just great. Yeah. And it's where I think Mickey always kind of shined brightest in the show, where he was the man with the boots on the ground. Like, he wanted to be useful, but traveling around isn't for him. And he wanted some level of consistency. And obviously, Rose wanted the opposite. And then over time, those two kind of opposing views just didn't work together anymore, which was cool. Is this? I can't quite remember I know what happens in Doomsday at the end of this season, and then I know that when Rose comes back. Just in case anyone is watching this for the first time, people know that she's back, but I won't say when or how or whatever. But what, like, is this the end of Mickey and Rose as a couple? Because I've thought it was the end a few times now.
I think I think it's a little vague in Doomsday and stuff, because they are like together, like when you see like Jackie and Pete and Mickey and Rose in Pete's world and that sort of stuff. And I think they are together.
Separate beds. Rose has the nightmare.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I can't really remember. I do remember. I don't know if I'm making this up or if it's someone else. But in my head, I can visually see a scene of like them sat on the couch and Mickey kissing the top of her head. But now that I'm saying that, maybe that's Pete to Jackie. So I don't quite know. Because I think it's like when she's telling them about her dream. So I don't quite know. But by the time when she shows up later in the show, over. 100% over. Okay? 100% over.
Oh, of course it would have to be. Yeah.
Not because of that reason, because that's again later.
Oh, yeah, it's later after that, yeah. Yeah. But Mickey himself says that it's over. Yeah. And there's I don't even think they talk during those episodes. He's too busy raising her mum.
He is, man. He spends most of his time with Jackie.
Look, who wouldn't put them together? What a pair.
What a pair. And again, this episode gave us some more of our queen. So, a nice little ending. But yeah, I feel like this is the end. Maybe there will be a little backslide, a one night only sort of thing in Pete's house, but I think this is the end. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, if they want to stick to some sort of casual arrangement, I ain't got any qualms with that.
Well, they can fuck.
They have our blessing.
I mean, barely. They're very young as well. Let's not forget that. They are very young. They're like 20.
They're knobbing.
Well, I was more talking about like bad relationship when you're younger and stuff.
Oh, yeah, but they're also knobbing.
Yeah. Sure. All right. Great.
Everyone's under parallel Pete's roof.
Great.
Anything else?
Pete, what a cunt.
Yeah, I'm not. It felt like a shame. He makes up for it later.
Yeah, he does, but still, fuck him. Look, I get it. Like, because it's not his daughter. He's never known that life. He's never been a father or anything. So I can understand it being a bit too much for him to be suddenly like, oh, this is my daughter from another world. That's fucking weird. Also, my wife has just died. Yeah. Like, look, I get it, but still.
Read the room, Pete. At least give a heartfelt, like, I'm a bit overwhelmed here. But
give her a hug.
Yeah,
man.
but I wish you well, and let's try and catch up at some other point.
Anyway, we'll see you in Doomsday.
Yeah, when I invent a big yellow button that does stuff.
Yeah, don't worry about how it does stuff, but it does stuff.
It certainly does stuff. But oh man, it takes 30 minutes to recharge. That's an episode length of Doctor Who. Damn. We may have enough for 2 zaps.
I'm pretty sure in the same episode they just then forget about that rule.
I'm fairly certain, yeah.
But hey, good stuff all around. That's Doctor Who, baby. Lawrence, is it time for our favourite segment of the show?
Weirdo of the Week! Weirdo.
Lawrence, this is my favourite segment of the show. This is your favourite segment of the show. This is everyone's favourite segment of the show, where we talk about the weird and wonderful and grubby little characters who come across our screen each and every week whilst we're watching Doctor Who. We like to take a moment to look back, reflect, and celebrate some of these characters. So, Lawrence, who is your weirdo for this week that you literally just thought of?
Nathan, I did just think of them. You're right. And this is a lot of the time we've spoken about this at length. A lot of the time our weirdos are, my weirdo specifically, are some sort of sexual deviant or some perhaps a racist person. No, not this one.
Is this a sexual racist person?
No, a sexual deviant who is racist. There's not a lot of them in Doctor Who, at least not the characters anyway.
That's more Torchwood.
But this time, this is more of a charming weird. This is more of a okay, not bad.
All right.
And it's just that obviously something I think it might have actually been the catalyst for us starting this podcast was our obsession with Rose's gymnast skills.
That kind of was one of the reasons we started this episode.
Yeah, because we just wanted to talk at length. I know both of us in that recording, that first recording we did of Rose, we were
one which never got released.
No, the one that did get released.
The one that did get released, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that everyone can listen to right now. That I know in that episode, I remember the war we had with our eye contact about who was going to beat the other person to mentioning Rose's bronze medal in gymnastics.
But that is something in our personal lives we mention all the fucking time. It's like one of our
Nathan,
favorite
have you got
scenes.
your card or something? And you'd be like, no, but you know what I do have?
I'll tell you what I have got.
yeah. But so anyway, moving on from that, my point is, and my weirdo is Rose.
Okay.
And my weirdo is Rose
mine,
because she will not rest until she has hung on for dear life on a rope over every iteration of London across the universe.
It's true. Yeah, I like that.
So that's she's my weirdo. And do you know what? Good on her. Does she hang off any more ropes?
Off the top of my head, no, but maybe.
She's got that big gun in Journey's End. I feel like she might do something there.
She does have a big gun. I can't remember her hanging off a rope though.
Nah, she just teleports about a lot, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. How's that happen? Don't worry about it.
Yeah, where's that technology come from?
Don't worry about it.
It's the big yellow button.
There's no button. The technology is now buttonless.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Also in that scene as well, the sonic screwdriver cuts through the rope. I thought you might have something to say about that.
I've given up at this point.
Okay,
the sonic screwdriver does a bunch of shit.
Just accept it, man.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I do think it's quite funny that like if just Pete fumbled that, they're all dead.
Yeah.
I'd have just booted him.
He's made of metal.
I'd have fucking given him a wallop. Get Pete's fucking size 10s in there. He'll be on it.
All right.
Just a big.
And then your foot breaks. And then what do you do?
Get a bit of purchase on the rope. You just need a bit of welly, a bit of oomph.
While you're hanging off a rope.
Yeah, but if you I feel like if you got further down enough that, like, say if you had your foot up quite high on one leg, you'd have enough room to do an outstretched fucking like a boot.
See, I feel like you'd have to let go of the rope entirely.
Nah, why? You don't need your fucking... footballers don't flail their arms, do they? They don't need them. They should just give them to someone else. They don't need them.
What an awful... I don't know what's going on. Anyway, my weirdo of the week, Lawrence, it's a very quick blink and you miss it moment. But when it was happening, I was like, that's a little weird. So at the end of this episode, during the big resolution, the day is being saved, the Doctor transmits the code. Thank you to Mickey and Jake, who did a little bit of hacking and submitted it. The Cybermen are all going through the horror of realizing what they are. They're trapped, encased in this metal tomb. They realize their human bodies are gone. They're now this strange prisoner, and they're dealing with the horrors of that. It's so much to handle that their heads literally explode because they cannot take the trauma of what is happening. And while that's going on, Mickey and Jake are just cheering and smiling and hugging each other. They're just like, yay, we did it. And the Cybermen are like, what am I?
What am I? What have I become?
What have I become?
When your own
Where is my
existence
family?
repulses you, yeah, and you're scared, confused. That was what Sally, the fucking Cyberman, said. That was what got me more than he can't see me the night before. It was when she went, I'm cold.
Yeah.
And I was like, she probably is cold.
She's freezing, mate. Get a jacket on her. But yeah, there we go. That's mine.
Sally's dripped out. She's got to go back and put her dress on.
Yeah. So, I just had an image of a Cyberman, but just in a wedding dress.
Is it Yanto's girlfriend Cyberman in the wedding dress?
No.
That's what's under the wedding dress for the wedding night.
Just a normal Cyberman, but just wearing a wedding dress. Imagine that, like a Cyberman in a wedding dress, and you can clearly tell it's a Cyberman because look at it. Yeah. But then it's got the veil on it, and then the groom lifts the veil and goes, ah!
Oh my god, like in Shrek.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be a good sketch. Someone do that.
Very good. Oh god, yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
We always end these on such a fucking weird note.
Oh, this podcast is getting longer and longer, man. Is there anything else to say?
There is some stuff to say, but it mostly is about what the audience can now do for us after our fine hour and 15 minutes of entertainment has gone by.
Well, why don't you tell them that, Lawrence?
I will. What they can do is they can follow us on Twitter at StillGotLegsPod. That is where Nathan will be tweeting the photo of the person that looks like me from the 60th trailer.
If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. There's a side-by-side comparison up there, hopefully, unless we forgot, which we probably did. But if we did, just tweet at us and remind us, okay?
Yeah. But let us know how desperately you crave to see me and my likeness to this person.
Yes.
You watch. We're gonna watch that episode, and it's gonna come on that big screen, and the Doctor's gonna point it and be like, "This is the biggest sexual deviant in the galaxy."
And I'll be like, "Yes, they nailed it."
And I'll be cashing my checks because it is me, and was all along. No, give us a little follow at Still Got Legs Pod. Get involved in the conversation that we are not having. Start a conversation.
We are having. I tweeted this week, "How good's Docky Who" or something.
I saw. Did you? I saw a tweet that was like, like an auto generator that's like fuck every name. And I saw fuck Adam, but I went to tweet it.
Yeah,
I don't know
that.
something. I think something happened and I didn't.
It's up there. Yeah.
What you tweeted?
There's already a popular one circulating.
I'll copy it then. That's fine.
It's already out there. I had a moment. Like, Twitter is like the For You page now. Awful, by the way. I hate it. It's just for like the worst shit. But I was scrolling through that, and there was like a moment where literally every fucking tweet I was seeing was one of those like fuck a name and then like someone quoted it with a picture. Like literally every single tweet for like a good 15 tweets was just that. And I was like, what the fuck is going on, man?
So Elon, he's fucked it, man.
Elon, fuck you and fuck your fucking...
Oh, while we're talking about Twitter and before I move on, we've done a lot of praising Mickey this episode, so I have to balance the scales, so bear with me.
Oh yeah, fuck Noel Clark.
Yeah, fuck Noel Clark, but also, for some reason, Noel Clark came up in my suggested. Maybe it was all that fuck Mickey nonsense that I saw.
All right.
And he came up in my suggested, and I just, out of interest, my curiosity piqued, I just clicked on his profile to have a little look, see what he's getting up to. And his Twitter now is quite funny because it's mostly just him having conversations with himself.
Oh no.
Or like just retweeting, like quote tweeting articles of like Johnny Depp says he felt boycotted from Hollywood roles, and like he'll tweet it with like the emoji of like the like what's this about emoji. I'm like, what it's about is he's a terrible bloke.
It's weird when like I've seen this happen a lot. There's a lot of like people who do something very fucked up and then quite rightly they face the repercussions of that, and then they just turn into like the biggest fucking like I'm gonna be friends with all the men who are hard done by, and we're gonna start a group, and we're gonna talk about, we're gonna make this our entire fucking personality. And it's like, dude, this is not a good look, man.
They'll guest on podcasts. It's like, so how did you feel? And they'll be like, the first 24 hours, I was seething. But now I just have love in my heart, and I wish that people felt the same. Like, no, but people can have love in their heart. They just don't have to have love for people that have like done terrible things.
Yeah, for fucking sexual abusers. Anyway, allegedly, but no.
Cover ourselves there quickly. And if Noel Clark is listening, not about you. It's a different one.
Yeah. No, it is you.
No, Nathan. For legal reasons, it's not him.
No, it is him, but allegedly.
You can sue Nathan, not me. I did my.
I said allegedly. You can't sue me.
That's true.
Anyway. Is that it? Is that it? What did you say? Did you reviewers do that?
Yeah, give us a little review. We are on podcasts.
We're on podcasts.
We are.
Have you heard about podcasts? We're on them.
We're on them. Go search us down.
Everyone check out podcasts. They're the new thing.
Your podcasting platform of choice will likely have some sort of review feature. It would mean a lot to me. Nathan isn't personally bothered because that's the cool demeanour he gives off. But it would mean a lot to me if you could give us a little 5-star or whatever the top kind of rating system is. That'd be great.
I think they're all 5 stars. Yeah,
I think they are as well. But you got to throw it in there in case there's a 10-star system rogue out there.
Someone's gone rogue.
Yeah, and so someone's like, we have 10 stars now, and our podcast is deemed average.
Yeah,
at best.
No. Yeah, give us a little comment as well. Say something nice or mean. Do whatever you want.
Let us know you're out there.
Yeah, let us know.
We can see that some of you are listening. Just talk to us.
Is anyone listening?
Well, there's a few. There's some. Some check in regularly.
There's some. Yeah, that's true.
Not to disclose the information, even, but there's some consistent numbers.
Should we name it?
Yeah, I don't think we have all our listeners.
Let's name all our listeners.
I don't think we can, but I'd like to.
I can name a few.
Name and shame.
No shame.
You got a week to reach out to us, or you're being named next week.
We're gonna expose you
for not interacting with us.
Yes, no, the ones I can name are the ones who do interact.
Yeah. Hey, Catherine.
Hi, Catherine. Shout out to Catherine. Shout out to Dion. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to pronounce your name. It's a beautiful Welsh name, but I forget everything. He's a lovely bloke as well. Welsh, yeah. Your enemy.
Stop listening.
No. What? Please.
I'm joking. You guys are good. You guys are cool.
Dom the Bomb, I think his name is. You seen him?
No, but I don't.
He's on Twitter.
I don't do a lot of tweeting, so who knows?
He's always liking stuff on Twitter. I'm just going to go for likes on Twitter.
How's the Vampire Diaries Rewatch podcast?
Dude, why are you exposing me like this, man?
You told me you watched it. I listened to it.
I listened to it. Yeah, it's good. Friend of the show, Catherine, does a podcast with two of her friends where they do a rewatch of the Vampire Diaries, and I have never seen a single episode of the Vampire Diaries, but I love this podcast. It's great fun.
I'll have to get on that because I've seen all but one season of the Vampire Diaries. I've tried to rewatch the Vampire Diaries 3 times, and every time I get to that last season, I don't have it in me to finish it.
Check it out. It's called Missing Mystic Falls. Available on all podcast platforms. Again, I know nothing about the Vampire Diaries. I do know that the town is called Mystic Falls, that they always end up in a place called The Grill. Like, literally the entire town is always in this restaurant, which apparently everyone goes to, called The Grill.
It's the coffee shop in Friends. It's the juice bar in iCarly.
I got you.
It's the cinema at Drake and Josh.
Yeah. It's there's something called compelling, which is like when vampires, like, I think they can control your mind or some shit.
They can indeed.
There's this weird theme about like all the vampires were like part of the Confederacy or some shit, and they were like fighting in the Civil War.
Yeah, Damon.
And they were
I think Damon and
we're all
Stefan
racist.
were Confederate soldiers, I believe.
Yeah, we're all racist.
Yeah,
so.
not great.
Yeah, not great.
I wouldn't be admitting it.
I listened to an episode today, and there was this new guy called Giuseppe who showed up. So that was a great name.
Nice. I think I remember which one Giuseppe was.
I have no idea. I've never seen an episode, but
there is a point in the show where they run out of Italian names for the vampires. And
are they supposed to be Italian?
Yeah, Damon and Stefan are from.
Is that like a vampire lore thing? Because the vampires in Twilight are Italian, aren't they? Michael Sheen is there, and he's like, I'm Michael Sheen, but I'm Italian.
Yeah, I think they just have, like, I think just Italian names are more synonymous with, like, vampirism and stuff. But no, not all of them are, because, like, there's loads of other vampires in the Vampire Diaries that aren't. Gets to the point where almost everyone in the Vampire Diaries is either a vampire or there's one human by the end of it.
Of all the people I know in my life, you are like one of the last who I would have expected to have seen most of the Vampire Diaries. But
yeah, it's fair. It's a fair comment. Yeah,
you're married now, so in that sense, I guess.
I have like an affliction for shit TV. I've seen all of Gossip Girl, which I love. I've seen most of Pretty Little Liars, which I find entertaining but very bad.
Glee.
Everyone's seen Glee. Come on.
We're both big fans of Glee.
Not coming soon. I know what you're about to say.
It's coming.
How has our plugs turned into plugging everyone else but us?
I don't know. What else should we plug?
What was it? Missing Mystic Falls?
Missing Mystic Falls, yeah.
Go listen to that. And Catherine, I will Venmo you for this.
Great.
I just saw that word online. I don't know what a Venmo is. Sounds cooler than I'll PayPal you.
Yeah, that's what it is. Venmo's like PayPal, but it's American, I think. Because, Americans, they don't have, like... how we can, like, send you, like... I can send you, like, 20 quid. I can transfer it to you. They can't do that.
Yeah, they'll be like, check me, bro. Send me a check so I can go to the bank.
Snap cash me.
They all have to go to Wall Street as well. There's only one bank, and it's in New York.
It's in Wall Street. What is going on? This episode is an hour and 20 minutes long.
I'm just padding it so that you have to listen to it all back again. This nonsense.
Great. Yeah, great. All right, that's it. Yeah, see you next week for the Jubilee.
I'll be honest, I thought you were going to press the theme. I mean, you just let us sit there while I shouted Doctor Who.
I'm just going to stare at you. Well, you just went, I hadn't even finished talking, and you just went, Doctor Who. What a bizarre episode. If you listen to this podcast, why?
Yeah, what could you possibly get out of it?
Yeah.
Other than a plug, if you have a show. If you have a show you want us to plug, let us know. Welcome back to Still Got Legs After Dark.
Fuck off. No, it's over. I'm stopping recording.